There we go. Had to unmute the mic. Welcome. It's a beautiful Saturday. A little humid, but it feels good. Happy to be out here. I know the lighting's not the best, but I don't think I'm going to move my setup. We'll just live with what we have here. As usual, we're going to start with some relaxation. And the reason I do that is because, well, everything I do is about getting beneath the surface. And that's what I mean by the title. Let's dive deep. What is your dream life? Let's dive deep. Because the surface is not necessarily the real dream. I'm sure you've many times, gosh, think back to childhood. What was your dream as a child? Maybe a few of you out there, maybe you are living the dream that you had as a child. Good for you. But I know for me, things changed over the years. And why would I think that it'd be any different right now? Is the dream that I have right now the dream, or is the dream that I have right now akin to that dream I had when I was, say, 6 years old and wanted to be an astronaut? I couldn't qualify as an astronaut, that's for sure, my age. So if I had the dream of being an astronaut right now, I suppose I could kind of make that happen if I made $1 billion and paid incredible sums of money to go to space. But is the dream that I have right now my dream? So let's go deep. We're just going to take a few moments to relax. This isn't going to be a 15-minute meditation, but let's quiet down. Notice the sounds around you. Maybe birds chirping, the traffic moving, other sounds, the sound of my voice. If your mind is going a mile a minute, if you're thinking, that's okay. There's nothing to do right now but listen. Notice how you start to settle in. Your body might even start to feel a little heavy, like you're more solid in your seat. Like gravity just turned up the littlest bit. It's so comfortable. And whether your mind is flitting from sound to sound, like a bee from flower to flower, or you're just relaxing in the midst of it all, the sea of sound around you, relaxing, not really focusing on one thing, either is perfect. If thoughts are coming and going, allow them to come and go. And to the extent you can, well, just not put any energy into them. They come, the energy, they lose energy, and they fade away. We'll just stay here in this state for just a bit longer. But we're here to talk about your dream life. I'm not here to tell you what it is. All I can do is hold space and give a little guidance so you can discover on your own with certainty. I believe this isn't a speculative process. You can know with certainty what your dream is. Now, whether you can do that in a live, on whatever platform you're watching this on, I don't know. I believe you can. But whether it'll happen or not is not important. This is a first step. You can feel free to keep your eyes closed. Stay in that relaxed state as we go, because I'm not going to do a lot of talking to the camera. Most of what I'm going to do in this live is guide or facilitate an experience. Not an experience of listening to me, but an experience of listening to yourself deep inside. What is beneath the surface? And so I'll go a little bit now into why we need to dive deep. So I've had a lot of dreams in my life. So I'm just going to give you an example. I'm not going to use the childhood example. I'll use one from a few years back. My dream, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 8 years ago, was to own a successful law firm. And to some extent I did, but there were issues. And the biggest issue of all was the crushing anxiety I was experiencing every single day. So that was my dream. If you ask me what my dream was to run a successful law firm. And by some measures I did, but was that really my dream? So that's the inquiry here. And if you just stay in that relaxed state we started with, just allow that to kind of percolate. This today in the stream is not a thinking process. And I think I probably say it in almost every stream. It's not a thinking process. It's not the wheels turning, figuring out what your dream is. We've been figuring out life all this time. And maybe it's worked. Beautiful if it's worked. But I would think that a lot of people like me worked years and years. For me, it was 40, 41, 42 years of striving, of thinking, of planning, of deciding. I spent 42 years doing all those things. And what I ended up with was crushing anxiety, daily panic attacks, depression, and failure, utter failure as an attorney, as an attorney, in my mind, as a parent, as a human being. And I'm not saying that's everybody's story. Be open to that if that is your story. That maybe it's not about thinking a little bit better or thinking a little bit more or discovering the perfect trick to make things okay. If you believe that you can think your way out of this problem and you want to stick with that, this video isn't for you. It's not. Because my perspective right here, right now, as I speak, is that you will not think yourself out of a problem that was created by thinking in the first place. So that's why I'm not going to talk very long here. The talking to the camera thing. We're going to go deep. We're going to explore. But so that's why we're diving deep instead of just kind of thinking through the process. Are you open to that? Good. And even if you're not, what can it hurt? Join in, see what happens. So let's close our eyes again. If you can, if you're here for the earlier part of the stream a few minutes ago, reconnect with the stillness. With eyes closed, just reconnect with the stillness. Notice the sounds around you. I hear the wind blowing through the trees. The sound of traffic. Voices a street over. What do you hear? Notice each sound. Maybe your mind flits from sound to sound. Or maybe you just relax in the midst of it all. Notice how this sea of sound is like a tapestry, individual threads woven through, a complete picture. Notice the chair, the bed, the ground supporting you. Notice the sensations in your body, the thoughts bouncing around in your head. The emotional backdrop you've carried from your day, your week, your year. We're right here, right now. Just be there, even if the thoughts are nagging, even if the anxiety is high. Let's just be here right now. Not pushing any of it away, not pulling it in. Just being here in this place, this moment. Listening, feeling, experiencing. Now, like I said, this is not a thinking process. If you find yourself thinking, that's okay. But see if you can find some space between those thoughts for the deeper desires to come out. One way you can tell that something is a deeper desire rather than a thought that's maybe been cultivated through family, friends, society, or entertainment sources. One way you can tell when something is coming from beneath is it usually pops out fully formed. It's like a eureka moment. It doesn't develop little by little as the thinking wheel turns. A plus B plus C is D. Not like that. It's all there all at once, may take a few moments to decipher it, but it lands complete and whole. Now, eyes closed. Notice off to your left a line extending as far as you can imagine. It can be any color you'd like. Mine is bright white. It's glowing. Also to your right, a bright light, that same line glowing out to the right, as far as you can imagine. We're right here at this point, the middle. Know that off to your left, every experience you've had in this life, off to the left. Know that off to the right is every experience you're going to have. Right here, right now. You're at the center of that line. It extends as far as you can imagine to the left, as far as you can imagine to the right. Opening up to what comes from this exercise. It's an experiment. And we're going to start to move slowly, very slowly to the left on this line. You may even feel yourself moving to the left. You may see bubbles with pictures, with videos inside as you move to the left. You're seeing moments in your life moving slow, recent past. You may just see glimpses. Maybe you see fully formed scenes. Doesn't matter. Just know we're moving into the past. This present moment off to our right now as we move. We're rewinding, returning to earlier times in our lives. And do you have a sense of how your dreams have developed over time? Again, we're not thinking, And just experiencing as we slowly move into the past. It may speed up a little here. Maybe we're back a year. You can go at your own pace, maybe a couple of years, but speeding up as we go, heading back. And as we head back, just stay open to what may come forth. How have your dreams changed over time? The answers can come as impressions. You may see moments in your life, you may re-experience them. Maybe you just know, but as we rewind, going quicker now, moving back years and years, how have your dreams changed? Maybe you're back 10 years now, maybe more, maybe less. How have your dreams changed? Is there a consistent thread through them all? You don't need the answer right now. The answer will come just knowing that that's what we're doing as we rewind. That consistent thread will show itself when the time is right. Allow yourself to see as you move even deeper into your past. Allow yourself to see moments in your life, impactful moments, moments when you pursued your dreams, moments that informed your desires, moments when you tried and failed, moments when you tried and succeeded. Allow them to show themselves. You're moving back. And it's okay if as you move back, suddenly something appears off to your right, something more recent. You don't have to continue to move to the left now. Allow the mind to take you where it takes you, the subconscious that's going to show you where to be on this line. You may continue to go back. You may stop where you are. You may move to the right, closer to the present. But now you're free floating on your timeline in the past. Where have your dreams gone? Where have they been fulfilled? Where have they failed? Be open to it all. The answer is within you. If you can get beneath the surface, as the title of the stream says, we're going deep. The answers won't come from thinking. The answers will make themselves known as you quiet yourself with willingness to hear. Free floating on that timeline. Is there a consistent thread through your dreams from the beginning of your life to the present moment? Maybe a word comes to mind, maybe a scene. What is that consistent thread? Staying open, listening. Maybe the inquiry yields results and you may find yourself with insight. Feel free to pick up a pen, a notepad. You can come right back to this relaxed state. Feel free to write it down. Now, this guidance I give is intended as a suggestion. So if you're having fruitful experience now, no need to continue to follow what I'm saying. But if you feel called, revisit your earliest memories. See the sights, hear the sounds, feel the sensations, the emotions. Be there. Looking out of your eyes during those early memories, feeling in your body, noticing the thoughts. Did you dream? What did you want to be when you grew up? How did it feel to consider the endless possibility at that early time in your life? Were there limits or just a limitless expanse of possibility? No knowledge or experience of limits. Be there, those early memories, the childlike wonder. For those of us who had some difficulty in childhood, trauma. What were those moments? The oasis in the desert. When did you feel free? And if you never felt free, if you never felt that childlike wonder, how do you imagine it would have been? What would it have been like to feel the limitless possibility of experience, of existence? Now, this early version of you, whether it comes from an actual memory or a dream about what it would have been like to be that limitless self, it's going to walk with you back up the timeline to the present moment, coming with you. This version of you, this early version, even this imagined version, walking along the timeline to the present moment, taking a seat next to you, or even on your lap, or in front of you. Regardless of the age that you went back to, let's have a conversation. Do you have a dream right now? Maybe you're not sure of it. Maybe you just want to check in and make sure that you're not headed down a dead end path. Maybe you have no idea at all. Why don't you present it to that younger self? The younger self unburdened by expectation and limits. Even if you couldn't speak or had limited speech at that early age, that earlier self can communicate now. It doesn't need words. Present your dream or lack thereof to this early version of you, or even imagined version of you. What does that version of you have to say? Or if there are no words, what is the emotion that that version of you conveys? Does that version of you have advice to give? Or maybe even just a hug? What do they think of your dream? Or do they have advice? Can they point? Are they showing you that dream? That dream you're afraid to pursue, but in their childlike wonder, they can't conceive of those limitations. There's no limit on what you can do. There never has been. Where do you go? What do you do? Let's drop the barriers. Even if your dream is to fly without an airplane, even if your dream is to fly, allow yourself to dream that dream with childlike wonder. Where are you limiting yourself? Drop the limitations. Then, after dropping the limitations, where are you continuing to limit? And drop them again as many times as it takes. This younger, idealistic version of you knows. Allow them to speak to you. You are free. You are freedom itself, experiencing life in a human body. You are free. What is your dream?